Okay, so we've heard about Ranajay's politics, and now we're going to cover a section on his adventures in creativity. Well, with that, you've probably seen the chat from John Matthew, P. John Matthew. NID was certainly part of his adventures in creativity.
I'll just say, Shinanda, you have to come in now.
I'm here, and a very good evening to everybody. So we'd like to extend our thanks to Mitali, Gogol, and Gorky for including us in this special memorial to Papa on his birthday, the 25th December. Can you hear me? I hope you can hear me clearly.
Just hold it.
Thunderstorm over here.
Yeah, Monday, just hold it till he's finished, and then we can do this.
Okay.
Just put it on pause for a bit. Go ahead, Shinanda.
Okay, we have a tribute of 5 minutes that we've kind of assembled together. So my name is Shinanda Bhattacharya, and I was one of the younger ones in the same batch that Ranajay was part of in 1976. I was 16 and a half. And I learned a lot of things from him, patience, and how to remain calm and yet put forth an argument. And that stayed with me all these years. My brother-in-law, Paul Conrad, also visited and stayed in Niribili a couple of years ago and really enjoyed the family's hospitality. Thank you for everybody. A tribute to Papa Ranajay. For the WhatsApp group of the NID batch of 76, early mornings began with beautiful photos of nature from Ranajay, whom we lovingly called Papa, taking us on virtual visits from his beloved Niribili, where he captured the sun burning like flames behind a moving silhouette of leaves or a laptop emitting blue rays as it greeted the morning. On occasion, we watched elephants stroll and attempted guessing what could be mushrooming from the kitchen floor. In fact, on the elephant story, I typically would share these photographs and videos with my colleagues at Boston College over here. And so Niribili is kind of a well-known place, and many people have expressed their desire to visit someday. There was never a dull moment, and suddenly he was gone. The loss of Papa hit us hard as a spate of outpourings ensued from across the globe. Grishma lamented from USA. My heart just sank when I read the news. We lost the most talented friend and human being today. Papa, you will be missed beyond what words can express. Feel so sad and alone and far away from everyone. Rana, his former roommate, reminisced how all these days he gave us positivity of a brighter day with his morning posts. Even when knocked down by an elephant, he just mentioned it casually. From his hospital room too, he showed us the Calcutta sky and glimpses of nature. But the day he posted a selfie with the mask on, my heart sank. Maybe he was giving up the fight from then on. Suresh Sethi and Ashok Rai recall the fantastic Waterworld theme party the class of 76 threw for the freshers, based on Lewis Carroll's legendary poem, The Crocodile, with fluorescent fish hanging from the canteen ceiling and a giant crocodile's eyes, fangs, and wide open mouth as the doorway, welcoming the little fishies in with gently smiling jaws, and a brainchild of Papa again. He really initiated some great things. We look back with affection and nostalgia on all he did. In class, while everyone did their exercise of rendering an image using textures in black and white, using dots, cross-hatchings, or lines, Rachna says, I can't describe my utter astonishment when I realized Papa had recreated the entire picture using Bangla alphabets. There were small squiggly textures with a fine pen and bold big letters with a felt pen and everything else in between. Such amazing imagination and what awe-inspiring talent. He was really something else. In his poignant online tribute to Ranajay, our senior Jogi Panghal mentions, the event that was held to welcome the new governing council members to NID in 1977 for a meeting to garner funds The quiet personality that was Ranajay suddenly became alive for a powerful theatrical performance called This Poor Man Has Lost Design, based on the poem that fresher Ranajay Gupta had simply written in his own inimitable way. The play, Lolita Recounts, directed by Ketan Mehta, then a fledgling directorial aspirant, now a renowned filmmaker, had Rashmi, Ashok, and herself, amongst others, and some of them were involved when it was being penned. Jogi still remembers that sensational feeling engulfed the whole audience. And when the performance was over, there was this spontaneous, sudden, stunning silence. Ronojoy lived in those precise moments. We were later to label we were to later label this as pregnant silence, a space filled with possibilities of a future not yet born. His voice was actually the written word, where he was a master. Comfortable in Bangla as well as in English, he was such a humble representation of the minds that had been shaped and inspired by the Renaissance that Bengali went through in the late 19th century and early 20th century. He brought some of the angst that Calcutta lived through in the early 70s. A graduate of Presidency College, his inquiry about design was direct. Design, whence it came, where it's going. Ketan found it in a narrative that inspired him. Result was that landmark rocking production accomplished with the foundation year students. Sonchita recaps how he broke into song often, especially Majhi and Baul songs, and excuse me, we learned many from him. Even the non-Bangalis, such as O Majhi Bhayo, Bhalo Besh Besh, O Nodi Re, were some of the recitals that would come out in our hostel corridors. And they were some of the favorites that many of us carry today. The design song Papa wrote is now legend. He was quiet, but so knowledgeable. He'd know the botanical and local names of any plant and flower, as we heard this morning. We asked him the simplest and to the most complicated questions, and he'd have the answer, our gentle, sweet Papa. I myself recall times when at 2 a.m. in the morning at the boys' hostel, Papa would suddenly break out in a song. Witty, creative lads like Gaurang and Rana would actually twist them into something semi-unsavory that I cannot share today. Rana adds, before the singing session, it was wall painting. While I tried drawing Bruce Lee, he would effortlessly sketch Karl Marx in perfect proportion with charcoal on the wall. He was truly a genius. He recalls visiting their Theatre Road house a couple of times during summer vacations. He says, I was awestruck by the books that were neatly stacked from floor to ceiling, especially the law books in Braille. I myself remember yet another funny incident when Papa, Rovi, and Rana shared a room. Once it started reeking of something dead and rotten. After a thorough search, we found a dead rat under Papa's mattress, completely flattened by his weight. It must have taken refuge for the night, not realizing the singer, poet, painter would come and lay his weight over this poor creature. Rachna grins as Papa would often ask, want to refresh the news? With a glint in his eye, we'd head off to Madras Cafe together, where we'd split the newspaper between us and with a pen alter the headlines and text to mean something hilarious together, chortling over each other's witticisms. Such a fine man with such a fine mind. We'll always miss him. Smita says, with his unmatched sense of humor, intelligence, and general knowledge, I was always in awe of our Papa. He will be dearly missed. Rashmi reminisces. Poet, punster, singer, designer who knew about literature, history, politics, music, food, plant life. Our very own Renaissance man is gone. Just feeling quiet and sad. Ashok, with a heavy heart, says, Papa was a person of so many facets and talents. This has really shaken me. Dindin takes a spin on few words from Papa's design song. Design is poorer today as we have lost this man. Search for him, seek him out. He's yours and mine. So many in the design fraternity were rendered speechless at the loss of our good friend, philosopher, guide, that our Papa, who was no more. The greatest thing a human being can earn are love, true respect, and fond remembrance. Our Papa Ranajay Gupta was certainly one of them in spades. May his legacy live on. I would now like to introduce Lolita Datta, who will recite the design song by Papa, joined in chorus by Ashok Rai and other batchmates. Over to you, Lolita.
Thank you, Sunand. Thank you, everybody, for having us. Bear with me, my voice is not the best today, but I will try. And the chorus is open to all, so it would be lovely to have whoever it is and join at least maybe the last chorus. I will now recite this song, which was penned by Ronajoy. I know a few words were given by me when we were writing this, and he was in his inimitable fashion shaking his leg and tapping his feet as he was writing this. And it was a very memorable time for all of us. So here goes. There was a young man once upon a time, an absent-minded man who lost design. Passers-by came and questioned him, "What have you lost? Why make a din?" Answered, "I'll reward the one who finds design. Don't waste a word." This poor man
has lost design.
search for it, seek it out, don't waste your
Don't
time.
waste your time.
Does
Does
it
it cost money? Is it good?
Is it made of metal, paper, or wood? Does it have a shape or does it have a rhyme? Is the thing eternal? Does it fade with time? Can you see it, hear it? Can you feel the thing? What are all the benefits it may bring? This poor
This
man
poor
has
man has lost design.
searched
Search
for
for it, seek it out, don't waste your time.
Does it have color? Does it have a tone? Does it have an address? And does it have a phone? Does it work on batteries, oil, or coal? Is it kept in a box, in a jar, or a bowl? Is it for pleasure, work, or play? Tell us all now. Don't be all day. This
This
poor
poor
man
man has lost design. Search
search
for
for
it,
it,
seek
seek
it,
it out. Don't waste your
don't waste
time.
time.
Make it in metal, paper, cloth, or stone. You use it at work or play. You use it at home. Pleasure it gives, it has beauty and grace. In the life of man, it must have a place. Color and form, and matte and shine, height, weight, length, breadth, all make design. This
This
poor man
poor man has lost design.
search
Search
for
for
it,
it, seek
seek
it
it
out,
out,
it's yours.
yours and mine. For
For
all of
all of
us,
us, young and old,
have mine.
who have design,
Search for
must
it,
have design. Search for it, seek it out, it's yours
mine.
and mine.
Skill it must have, and it must have art. Utility is the most important part. Economics, biology, physics, chemistry, ecology, psychology, and history. Add a dash of math and you're doing fine. Give pleasure to the senses and you've got design. This poor
Poor
man has
man has
lost
lost
design.
design.
Search
Search
for it,
for it,
seek.
seek
Come
it
on,
out,
everybody,
it's
let's have
yours.
a joy. Search for it, seek it
Seek
out,
it
it's
out,
yours
it's
and
yours
mine.
and mine. For
For
all
all
of
of
us,
us,
young
young
and
and old,
old,
must
must
have
have
design.
design.
Search for
Search
it,
for
seek
it,
it
seek
out,
it,
it's yours and
yours and
mine.
mine.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And I would now like to request Gogol to present the video, a tribute which was made by very fondly by one of our batchmates, Dinesh Korjan. So over to you, Gogol. Thank you once again, everybody.
And that's coming up. Thank you very much from everyone from NID. Here it is.
rather than shake, silence and shake, texture.
Thank you, NID batch.